Back at it again, guys. Here with a new account, a free-to-play vegan-only Ironman. Let's get started. Making a new account, we got all the names set up, all that good stuff. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our settings are set to the classic layout. I do prefer playing that a lot better. It's just kind of more fun, if you ask me. And then as we proceed through the tutorial, we immediately break our veganism. With some cooking of shrimp. But that's okay, because the next thing we're going to do is go cook some normal bread. I'm not exactly sure what kind of foods will be the easiest for this account, but we will kind of explore that as we go. So as you can see here, we're basically just going through Tutorial Island as best we can. We're stopping at all the tutors like you have to. Proceeding later on, I will have to kill 2 animals, which is going to kind of suck. But, we're going through here with the mining tutor. We're going to be talking to this guy. Basically, this is going to be an account where we kind of explore what we can do. There's a lot of new stuff in this game in terms of even free-to-play, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with it. And so as time goes on, we'll kind of explore that together. So we see here we're killing this rat. This should be one of 2 living creatures I have to kill ever in this game mode. So as we come forward, you can see I'm shooting the next one here with a bow. That should be the last death we have to go through with this account. Very sad. We're now in the bank. Got our nice 25 gold. I'm kind of going through the options here, learning about polls, and they're so helpful. Definitely don't release updates that nobody wants, but that's fine. The account guide, who talks to you about all kinds of really fun stuff. That's all good. And then we move on to the prayer tutor. We're going to probably have to do prayer training a little different in this account. I'm not sure exactly. I know demons drop the ashes now, which is great, so that'll help us. Now we're going ahead and setting our Ironman status. We're actually going to be a hardcore Ironman. And I'm not sure if I want to stay a hardcore forever. Obviously, if I die, I'll lose that status, but I'll still be a regular Ironman, so we'll probably just continue from there. We go ahead and set up a bank pin, and then we're moving on to the last tutor. We don't actually kill the chicken here. We just do a quick wind strike. We do damage it, so that's a little bit sad. Rip in the chat. And then from there, we are already through the tutorial, and we find ourselves on the mainland. So you may be wondering, what kind of rules does this account have? What is different about this account and my last couple of accounts that I've done? Well, the main difference is that this one's a free-to-play, vegan-only Ironman. But the rules remain the same. My goal is to stay and follow a vegan diet and lifestyle in the game, and that includes all the things that I eat or drink. It includes all the gear that I wear, or ammunition, or weapons, or, magic I have to cast, as well as activities such as, killing animals, whether that's shearing sheep, whether that's fishing, whether that's cooking certain things, pretty much anything that can be defined as animal exploitation or killing is not allowed on this account. That includes hurting them, so I'm not allowed to just punch a cow for an achievement or something, even though that doesn't exist. But the main idea is that there's no killing or exploiting of living or sentient creatures, and that's a little bit specific, but essentially that means the only things I'm allowed to quote-unquote kill are the undead, which include ghosts, demons, skeletons, zombies. And then in terms of non-sentient creatures would be like golems, so, in members like Tezars are sort of like elemental creatures, they're not alive. As long as I don't kill those, and as long as I don't, break the whole vegan diet thing, then I have stayed within the rules. So that is the rules we're going to attempt to follow when playing this account, and we're going to do it all in free-to-play. Now, something to mention is that on Tutorial Island we were given a few different things. These shrimps, they have to go as they are an animal, and then something that is going to be difficult is these arrows. They have feathers on them. I'm not able to use those because they come from an animal, and then we probably won't need the fishing net. So follow along for the journey, and hopefully it should be a good time, and hopefully y'all enjoy the fun times we go through together. This will be a lot, and even though we're vegan, I think that there's still a lot of stuff to do in this game, and I think it'll be very enjoyable nevertheless. So as you may or may not know, veganism is the...
Nobody cares about your stupid...
Wow, okay, cut me off. Jesus Christ, dude. Relax. Yeah, go away. We don't need to hear from you, alright? Get out of here. We're not focused on you. So, anyway, veganism it's about saving the animals. That's all that matters. Let's have a good time, and I hope you all enjoy.
Go away, freak!
Okay, guys, so the first thing we did was light some fires up on Lumbee Castle. We did this until we got 15 fire making. Then we headed down to the general store to start doing some woodcutting to try to get up our woodcutting level as well. Doing this was helpful as it allowed us to get our skills up, plus we ended up getting a random event at the same time from Rick Turpentine, which gave us some easy money to start off with. Money making on this account is going to be surprisingly difficult, so this 240 gold actually did quite a lot. We are going to bank this immediately after finishing up this inventory of logs, as we're going to need this for later. We then ran up to the bank to put our money away, as we wanted to have as much inventory space as we possibly could. After putting that in the bank, they gave us a total of 265 gold pieces, which is not that bad at all. As we reached level 12 woodcutting, we were now allowed to make log canoes, which is actually a really good way of getting around in free-to-play, which they made free-to-play a few years back. After quite a lot of woodcutting, we reached level 15, which allowed us to cut down oak trees, and I decided to move on to something else. Upon further investigation into our cooking options, I realized there wasn't a whole lot to cook in free-to-play that I could use. Basically, bread, red berry pie, apple pie, and wine would be my main cooking options, and apple pie would be some of my best food I could even use. So we're going to have to make a lot of bread to be able to level up until we can make apple pies, but eventually getting into the cooking guild would be a necessity on this account. I decided to go try and fight some imps on this account. A, to be able to do Imp Catcher, which gives us an Amulet of Accuracy as well as some magic levels, as well as getting some very helpful drops from them, most importantly a Chef's Hat, which is pretty much the only way I'm going to get one of those, which is key to entering into the cooking guild. As I was heading towards Falador, I found an imp and decided to attack it. Since it's a demon monster, I'm allowed to attack it on this account. And amazingly, it actually dropped a pretty decent upgrade, a blue wizard hat, and these ashes, which I can use to get some easy prayer experience. Once we reached Falador, we decided to camp the imps there for a while, mostly to try to get a hold of the black beads, red beads, white beads, and yellow beads that these drop to be able to do the Imp Catcher quest. But in addition to that, they also drop some other pretty interesting drops, such as an egg, bread dough, cabbages, as well as some other important things like a pot of flour. They can also drop the fabled Chef's Hat, which I do require for this account, so hopefully we can get up some levels and train a bit, and also be able to beat the quest. While killing the imps and spreading the ashes, we actually also attained our first prayer level, the first of many, I hope. And amazingly as it may sound, we actually received the Chef's Hat pretty quickly in this account. Compared to my last account where I had to kill nearly 300 imps, this is great. As weird as it sounds, getting a bowl of wool from these guys is actually really helpful, as it's the only way I'm going to be able to beat the sheep shearer quest, though I will need to get 20 of them, which will take a very long time. And after a pretty short period of time, we ended up getting the last bead. We only had one duplicate black bead, and we were ready to go complete the Imp Catcher quest, which is going to give us a lot of magic XP. As I was headed over to the Wizard Tower to be able to complete the Imp Catcher quest, I decided to start the Corsair Curse quest, as it unlocked another area in free-to-play, and I figured it might be helpful later in the future. After a pretty painless journey over to the Wizard Tower, we started the quest and completed the quest all at once. It allowed us to get a bunch of magic levels, as well as the Amulet of Accuracy, which will be intensely helpful in this account. It actually gives a bonus to all attack styles with no defense bonuses, but that's pretty damn good considering I'm not sure I can actually wear any other amulet. I'll have to check and see later if it ever says it's made from wool though, as wool would not be allowed. With that quest complete, it gained us a bunch of magic levels, as well as prepped us for the next part of this account. I think that we're going to have to do quite a bit of training with our combat stats, as at this point, the only real way we're going to make money is through drops from monsters. And unfortunately, the only things we're able to kill are something like ghosts or other types of undead, or perhaps maybe some kind of elemental creature, but we'll have to research into that more. There's not a whole lot of options, and we really don't have any food yet either. The problem with food on this account is we need to train our cooking first, and there's not a lot of easy ways to get a hold of flour to make bread. The only way is the Port Sarim food shop, which sells 3 pots of flour at 10 GP each, which we could potentially do, and we could just hop worlds and make bread, though we need money for that. So I'm thinking the plan will have to be going to train, trying to make money from those monster drops, and then from there, trying to go ahead and train up our cooking. But for now, I hope you all had a good time, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you again next time.